Like I said, I'm new to this, man.
Not a problem.
Hey, I was
As,
doing a deep dive. Yeah, it's been like 20 years.
um, well, let's say maybe it's been over 10. How's that?
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. Yeah, it has been over. We got a 19-year-old, so and that was when we came back. So it's been over 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Because I think they only give me like I don't know, like 30 minutes. So
That's
it
insane. It takes me more than 30 minutes to introduce myself.
Well, go ahead and introduce yourself because I always screw up people's names. I'm not going to screw yours up, but I'm just saying I'm going to get used to just letting people introduce yourself.
Direct from his palatial estate high in the hills of Hollywood, California, we present to you live and in person the first, the only, the original Mr. Wonderful of professional wrestling. The diamond ring and Cadillac man, the man who possesses the body that men fear and women love, the intercontinental lover, the Rolls Royce of wrestling, four-time Hall of Famer, Rock Riddle.
I wanted to ask
Okay,
you about that. There
what?
was I saw when I did your thing that you said your original Mr. Wonderful.
Yes.
Do you get residuals if somebody else uses your name or because you
No.
were way before Mr. Wonderful, so
I am Mr. Wonderful. I am the only one alive. The imposter has passed on.
Oh, okay. Do you still have those pizza nights
Without the pizza now, yes.
without the pizza?
Because now we're using theaters where they don't want food brought in.
Oh, but I tell you, they were pretty cool, man. Back in
Yeah.
the day, we would go to all the auditions and be like, okay, it's a Friday evening. Let's stop and get some pizza. Rock's always got his thing, and I used to put on acting classes. I know it's about like just getting the people together. You know what I mean? Everybody has their thing, but you just seem like you just were trying to get people connected.
Yes, I've been connecting people for many years now.
I did a deep dive on your thing, and you've done a lot of stuff, buddy. I mean, besides the wrestling, which goes way back. Now, I don't want to say way back, but you were a wrestler a long time ago, and I see that you got pictures that you're either were wrestling a couple years ago, or were you like doing like a manager type of thing?
How about July 20th, 2024? That was my most recent match. That was at the George Trago slash Lou Thez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame annual 3-day inauguration weekend wrestling match. So I took on their champion. It was great.
Yeah, I saw, like I
You
said,
think I'm kidding, don't you?
no, no, I saw the
No.
pictures.
I was actually wrestling July 20th, 2024. That was the last one. I will be, let's see, when is it? 1 week from the day that we're recording this, I will be in Las Vegas. The other was in Waterloo, Iowa at the Hall of Fame, but I will be in Las Vegas. And I'm debating as to whether I might want to go in the ring or not. If not, probably in November, the day after Thanksgiving and the following 2 days, something called WrestleCade in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That's a wonderful event. And I just have to see who is the promoter there. Maybe Tommy Dreamer. I know I showed up there one year and Tommy Dreamer says, "Hey, Rock, got your stuff? Got your gear?" I said, "No." He says, "Oh, put you in there if you got your gear. This time I'll have my gear and say, hey, I've got my gear. Who do you want me to chew up tonight?"
I saw a lot of pictures of like you and Jake the Snake, and I know that you went to Terry Funk's funeral and all that, but you still all like connect. I mean, I know you're still doing it. A lot of those people have retired or,
Retired in more ways than one in too
yeah,
many cases. Yeah. I was
like a
at Dusty
brotherhood,
Rhodes.
right?
Yeah,
It's like,
this is certainly the way it used to be, and amongst the legends, it still is. I can't say so much so for the newer, younger wrestlers who don't, many of them who don't quite get it.
well, that's what I wanted to ask you because, like I said,
Hmm.
back in the day when I was out there, I think it's the same way for the actors. Back when we were in California, there was everybody was trying to help everybody in networking, and trust me, people aren't like that anymore. I guess in any field, everybody's attitude has changed, and not for the better. Nobody wants to help, nobody wants to be a part of anything, and nobody wants to associate. It's sad.
It is. It's sad that people do not understand. You see, every day above ground is a good day. And if people understood that, their attitudes would change. The fact is, with the wrestling business, with the entertainment industry, I have a great deal of knowledge. And I think it's okay to say I have a great deal of wisdom, all of the many decades that I put into those two industries. And for me to keep that bottled up inside of me for my own purposes only, it has no power. It only has power if I am able to share it with people. Otherwise, it will eat me up from the inside out. And other people just don't understand that. The fact is that there is no lack on this planet except for the people who decide that they want lack. There's so much. Me succeeding does not threaten you. You succeeding has nothing to do with me or my success.
When you have that product and you have that finished movie, it's worth all the time. It's worth all that you put into it, trying to find an audience for it. And you being a wrestler, you get it even better because you have like the audience right there in your, it's got to be exciting, when you got the fans right in front of you.
It's like theater in the round,
Yeah.
one take where you do all of your own stunts. And there's no rehearsal.
Yeah.
And there's no, regardless of what people think, there's no predetermined anything. With the now maybe things are a little different, but they're not when I go into the ring. They
Yeah.
weren't different when I went to the ring with this young champion a few weeks ago. I never rehearsed anything in the wrestling business. I did in the acting business, but even in the acting business, I did something for what was it? Fernwood Tonight, um, uh, Norman Lear's company, Alan Thicke and Martin Mull and Fred Willard. When I did that audition, I went in, I did the audition. Then when they accepted me and they handed me the script, they had scripted my ad libs. I said, "Oh, I'm not going to get credit for writing this, but this is exactly what I said." Some degree of freedom, even in the business in which you and I are in the entertainment industry.
Well, I usually let my actors just go off because I tell them if they look good, then I look good. You know.
Yes, yes. Let me give some insight to the actors who are watching, some truth that many people never learned. Here's the truth. If you believe it's real, we, the audience, will believe it's real. You have to know it's real. Also, total concentration of attention away from yourself is the creative source of acting. Have your energy high, have your barriers totally down, be totally vulnerable, and totally believe that what you're doing is real.
I also tell them just respond. I mean, it's just like when you're talking to somebody says something, you react and respond. You really want that to hear the other person because then it looks more real.
Then it is real.
Right. Yeah, it is real. You started all the way back in Paradise Alley. Um,
I
yeah, I
started
looked it
before
up
that.
and I see that Terry Funk was in there too. Did you guys get to wrestle together or you just played a wrestler in that?
Not in the movie, but I wrestled Terry many times before. Terry was a good friend of mine, and if we have the time, I'll tell that story about that movie and how Terry got that part and all that sort of thing. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
I used to work out with Sly Stallone at Holiday Spa, which was in the twin medical building towers across the street from the famous Chinese theater. So Sly and I would meet there 2 or 3 times a week, and we would work out together and stuff like that. And Sly knew who I was when he first came in. I'll give you the beginning of the story. I'm doing bench presses, and this kid, this young fellow, older than me but still young, he came in. This guy's dressed in boxing trunks in a bodybuilding gym, so he's really out of place. And I said, "Okay, who's this weirdo?" Then he's staring at me. I said, "Well, no gay guys have ever found me attractive, so I don't think that's why he's staring at me." And finally he comes over. He says, "Name's Stallone." I said, "Okay, like I should I should know something who you are." It doesn't. How do you? He was nobody yet.
Right. Yeah.
And
It's before Rocky. Yeah.
before Rocky, during Rocky, after
Yeah.
Rocky, I knew him all that time. But and then he said, "Yeah, Sylvester." And I said, "Okay, here's a nutcase wearing boxing trunks in a bodybuilding gym who named himself after a cartoon character cat. This is really interesting. But as we continued talking, he had seen me on television. He's a huge wrestling fan. I bet if he could go back and do it over, he would probably have become a professional wrestler as opposed to a movie star. Slice told me, he says, "Hey, I want you to do this. I want you to do some choreography for a wrestling. I got a movie coming up. I want you to be in it, and I got a nice part for you, etc." Okay, that's a horrible Sly Stallone imitation, but hey, Rock. Okay, we could do it more like that. But we talked about that for a while. Then one day he says, "Yeah, it's going to be called Hell's Kitchen." He comes into the gym and he's always happy, always friendly, always seemingly happy to see me and smiling. And this one day he's avoiding looking at me. And it's like he has to tell me something, but he doesn't want to tell me. And he doesn't know exactly how to do that. And finally, I made it easier. I walked over there and I said, "What's up?" He said, "I had to change a bunch of stuff. You see, I can't play the wrestler because I have real professional wrestlers who are going to be in this movie, and they will not take it easy on me because I'm like an actor, a movie star." And I was working out with this wrestler, and he said, "Choke me." And I said, "What?" And he says, "Choke me." So I choked the guy. And he says, "No, choke me harder." And because I don't know if this is a PG thing we're doing or not, I'm going to change the words. And then Sly said, "I'm choking him. I'm choking him like as hard as I can." And he says, "Choke me, you kitty cat." And okay. I said, "So how long have you known Gene LaBelle?" He says, "How'd you know it was Gene LaBelle?" I said, "Because of what you told me. At any moment, Gene hurt you just enough. He put just enough pain to let you know that he could seriously hurt you."
Yeah. I
And
heard stories
yeah, and
that he
also
was the
mostly true.
toughest of the tough.
I think one of the two toughest men on the planet at that
Yeah.
point. Even when he was in his 80s, he had the front page of the Valley newspaper, and it said "toughest man alive?" question mark. That was after he was in his early 80s, I believe. So anyway, Sly said I had to change it, so I'm not playing the wrestler anymore. I got this Lee Cantalino guy, big guy, tough guy. He's going to be great for it. I'm going to play the brother now, but not in the. I don't get in the ring, and I changed it the title to Paradise Alley, and that nice role I had for you, Rock. It's all changed. You'll still be in it, but it's going to be something small. My response to him was something to which he had not a great deal of understanding at the moment. He's like, I said, "Sly, if me having a tiny role in it is best for the project, that's good. However, I can be of assistance. If me running for coffee and donuts on the film is best, great. If me having a larger part, that's great. If me not being in the film is better for the film, it doesn't matter. It's not about me, it's about the project. How come I can't find anybody like you ever anywhere else in the world, Rock Riddle?" This is what I think he was thinking. But it's true. It's like whatever I can do. So he changed it. He chose Terry Funk to play the role that initially I was going to do, the premiere. I said to Sly, "Thank you. Had I known that you pushed Terry Funk aside and had me in that part, I would have been upset because I could not have come close to what Terry did. He made that movie. He was brilliant." Sly told me one time in the gym also, he says, "Hey, Rock, I'm on the cover of all the magazines. I got Rocky out there, won an Academy Award, and you go through a checkout stand, you see all these things, and I'm on the cover of everything. And uh, I was in Texas. I'm in the public, myself and Terry Funk, and the people see us and they rush us and they push me aside to get to Terry." I said, "Sly, you want to know why that is, don't you?" He said, "Yeah, I don't quite understand." I said, "Sly, you are only a movie star. Terry Funk is real." And he got it.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, he got it. And that's very true. So, yeah, I was at Terry's funeral. I was at, Dusty Rhodes' funeral in Tampa. A year and a half later, I'm at Roddy Piper's funeral, an hour drive outside of Portland, Oregon. Superstar Billy Graham's funeral just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. That I think that was one of the last ones I attended. But okay, here's the thing. Here's a little story. I'm in Tampa, Florida, myself and well, the Dusty Rhodes funeral, tremendous security. WWE had great security. 700 of Dusty's closest friends were there. A who's who of the world of professional wrestling. And as I'm sitting there, I'm sitting behind Dwayne Johnson's mom, and she and I have known each other for a while. We did a little video thing together. She calls it a movie, but it was a little video that we did as a joke for her son, famous son. But as I'm sitting there, I'm looking around in this gigantic cathedral type thing, all of these people. And I said, to answer your question, this is my family. This is my family.
Yeah.
And it's great to be a part of that. And it's great to have that camaraderie that we have, those extreme senses of humor that we have, the same as surgeons would have, police officers would have, people in war would have, people whose lives are on the line have extreme senses of humor, people who deal with life and death. And professional wrestlers, that's your life is always on the line. The average lifespan of a wrestler is considerably less than the average person, even though most of the wrestlers are in fantastic shape. The neck only breaks so many
Yeah,
times.
one wrong move and it's over,
Yeah.
every day. You've done the wrestling, you've done the acting. I've seen you also posting a lot of pictures for firearm courses for actors, producers, directors. Well, how
Mm-hmm.
did that come about?
Well, for years, myself and I'm sure tens of millions of other people, we would watch movies, watch television programs. We would see people, actors, handling firearms dangerously, incorrectly. Let's teach you how to properly handle. Nobody was teaching courses in this. So finally, after a year or so, I said, nobody else is doing it. We need to do it. So I did. I've got a lot of people who are incredibly gifted firearms instructors, U.S. Secret Service, although they're not in the greatest degree of admiration sometimes recently, but sheriff's department, all people who teach the sheriff's SWAT team and things like that. So I have a lot of friends in law enforcement and in firearms.
But is it more so about safety or is it more so about trying to make people look more better, the actors better?
Okay,
I mean,
get
because we all know in the
yeah.
news things have happened on the sets of bad
Mhm.
situations with guns.
Yes. In fact, most of us who know about a particular one would say negligent homicide. Oh, you mean it shouldn't be involuntary? Negligent homicide. Well, it was an accidental discharge. There is no such thing as an accidental discharge of a firearm. It is a negligent discharge. Yeah, so it's about safety. It's also about making you, the actor, look good because if you're handling the firearm correctly, you don't have your finger on the trigger. You have it where it's supposed to be. You are presenting the firearm properly. Your stance is right. Your grip is right. Your vision is right. You look fantastic. And you're setting a safe gun handling example at the same time. Now, we who cringe when we see actors doing horrible stuff, now we look at you and we say, yes, yes. Who's the fellow who plays John Wick?
Keanu Reeves.
Yes, we watch Keanu Reeves. Does this man know what he's doing? Absolutely.
Yeah,
How
well,
does he?
he's taking courses and stuff.
He trains. He
Yeah, he
trains.
trains.
Even this 4 hour course that we do, those people come out, and we've had producers come who've watched and who hired actors when they see how easy they are directed, how good they look with the firearms by the time that 4 hour intensive class is over. And I don't know what else to tell you except that we're very happy with the response that we've gotten. Also, actors on the whole tend to be, if you want to use the political scale, a little bit to the left, a lot to the left.
Let's not go there, but yeah, they are.
They passed the left a long time ago.
Yeah.
So we have people who come in who are basically anti-gun, a lot of them, or some of them, and that's perfect because 60+% of all film and television projects utilize firearms. They have to understand firearms. They want to look good. You want to look good, actors? You need to be able to handle this. Think of it this way. If you're playing the violin, if your character plays the violin, go out and take some lessons so that you'll know how the
Right.
bow goes across the strings and you don't look ridiculously stupid, and they don't have to do a long shot with someone to a double who actually does know how to play. Care enough about the part to look good. We, the audience, we can transcend disbelief. We can, to only to a certain degree, though. They don't even know how to pick the gun up. Now you
Well,
know how to pick the gun up. Now you know how to look good. Now you want to play an FBI agent. Uh, Hold it. Let's do it this way. Now, do you want to play a Secret Service agent? I guarantee you'll know how to reholster that weapon. I guarantee you'll not.
I want to talk about well, just like what you were saying, I tell the actors, besides the gun, it's practice makes perfect. If you ain't got no acting class, you can act in front of a mirror because a runner doesn't get better without running, so you just constantly got to do it. Miss Castaway is what goes back to our time. You got us on Miss Castaway. And actually, I stayed in touch with Al, who was the sound guy, because he was actually from Maryland, and he always would do every Brian movie. Brian
Mhm.
Michael Stoller, he was on all of them because he would tell me, "Yeah, Jimmy, I'm in DC. I don't know how Brian got this one going." He goes, "We got a car here flipped over, and we're filming." And be like, "Oh, he's writing a movie about a dog because he's got Nancy Reagan's dog."
Yeah,
But
Little
I
Bear.
stayed friends with Al up until people pass away. But they're good connections. And like I said, our paths have crossed a long time ago. Did you ever go to the rap party at Neverland Ranch?
I was there from early in the morning till late at night. I was only one of two people who did not need a wristband, myself and Brian Michael Stoller.
Well, actually, me and Peachy showed up late, and it was cool as anything when we got in there because we didn't know about the whole train that went around or whatever. So we're just like walking and got picked up by security and taken there. But we were the last two to leave. Security is like behind us on the golf carts, just like, "Come on, get out of here!" And we're like, "We ain't leaving because we know we ain't coming back."
Um,
But
yeah,
it was something special. So and it was kind of cool. Like I said, I filled in for Al because he actually had I think kidney stones or something like that. So I did the boom and I was actually in the cockpit with Eric Roberts and Charlie
Schlatter.
Slatter.
Yeah,
Yeah. And actually Charlie was cool because I seen him again at Michael Jackson's ranch or whatever. He brought his kids. So
Neverland,
yeah,
Neverland
Neverland.
Valley Ranch, which does
Yeah.
not exist anymore, unfortunately. But I think Brian Michael Stoller still has the keys to it. Hey, I got a couple of quick things if I can throw these out,
Yep.
since obviously you're going to have a lot of actors watching this. Number one, Jack Lemmon used to do something. Jack Lemmon back sort of toward the golden age or just after the golden age of Hollywood. Jack Lemmon, big superstar, is father of Chris Lemmon. And every time that Jack Lemmon would do a scene, he would turn his back to the camera and he would whisper something. He would mumble something. And then my friend Joel Coleman, who directed him, Joel said, "May I ask you, when you turn your back and you say something, do you mind sharing that with me?" He says, "Well, my dear boy, of course not. I turn my back to the camera and I whisper, magic time, magic time." The most brilliant thing. It works in so many cases. Now you turn around and you're not judging yourself anymore. You're allowing the magic to happen, and you have so much magic in you that you can feed that camera. You can cause people to cry, people to laugh. You can have people feel for you. not for you, the person, but for you, the character, which is the person you have created.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing stuff. And just let the magic happen.
I use my scripts as basically outlines. And I even the actors that I work with over and over again. One of the last movies I did, the guy was like stressing. He was like, Jimmy, I haven't done this in a long time. It's too many lines. I was like, just go. And you know the other guys, so you guys are just going to play off each other and just make the magic happen.
That's
And
it.
that's what they did because like I said, it's a balance of back and forth. And
Yep.
that's what the scene just flows.
Yeah. Who was it? Sir Richard Attenborough. He had his barriers down, his energy up. He was totally vulnerable, and he did a play, and I don't remember which one. I think it was Lynn Redgrave who was in it with him, and she went backstage to see him, and he was crying, and she said, "Sir Richard, why are you crying? That's the best performance I've ever seen in my life." He says, "I know. I don't know how I did it." But if you allow the magic to happen, it doesn't really matter. You believe it's
Yeah.
real, other people will believe it's real. Let it happen. You're focusing your attention on me. That eyebrow right now, that could cause you to cry. That could cause you to get angry. That could cause you a lot of different things. So I'm doing your acting for you.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting stuff.
because everybody gets uptight. Some of them just stress about getting the words word for word. But I've made like 160 movies, and I tell you, there's so many things that can go wrong. Just do the acting because
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 of them in post right now. But even though the movies are good, the wrong music screws it up. You
Yeah.
know, there's so many elements that's gonna one bad apple does spoil the bunch. So just do your job and just be free and go. Because you could do the best performance in the world and still have a crappy movie.
You remember Miss Castaway, of course. You were at the premiere, were you not? At
No,
Universal
no,
Studios, you were not.
no.
One
We
lady came. One lady came up to me. I just had a small part in it, and she said, "You were brilliant. Oh my gosh, you're a fantastic actor." Why do they think that I did such an amazing job in this movie? Because I didn't, and it was a small thing. They said because they laughed at that point because the joke was funny, then they thought I was a good actor. I said,
yeah.
"Oh, so that's, I mean, it was believable. It was okay. It was good. But I
Well,
don't
it's
know that I
opinions
saw it as
also.
brilliant."
Like I tell everybody that there's going to be people that I'm helping other filmmakers and I'm telling them when you make your movie, doesn't matter if it's the best movie in the world, there's going to be people that hate it and there's going to be people that love it. You just got to you just got to care about what you create, you know?
Right. It's like me telling my jokes. Most people don't think my jokes are funny, but it doesn't matter. I think they're funny, and
Right.
therefore I
And
laugh at
there are
them, and
some
I'm
people that
entertaining
will.
myself.
There's some people that will. So, like I said, I'm going to post this. Use, if it's okay with you, use some of your pictures from your Facebook of,
You do whatever
advertise
you can,
that I
anything you
throw up
want.
there. If you like it, you give me a thumbs up, but you'll be the first one to see it. And you let me know if it's good enough to
I,
post.
I don't want to see it. I'll be bored with it. No, I like watching
I
myself,
know you
and I'll
like
say,
watching yourself.
"Oh my God, the man is brilliant. What can I tell
I
you?"
saw the one with the white, the blue jacket, man. That was like you were announcer. You had this like bright blue jacket.